He's vicious.
A fearsome flurry, and he's done.
Bad motherfuckers, yeah, some killers. Ooh, a monster.
For 13 years, the undefeated Naoya Inoue has been flawlessly collecting the scalps of his opponents. A terrifying mix of freakish power and flawless technique. This Japanese monster has conquered 4 weight divisions, earning the title of the Grim Reaper of modern sweet science. Brace yourselves, because what you're about to see is Inoue proving he's not just a headhunter, but death itself in boxing gloves. This is Boxing Space. Here we go. One of Inoue's most significant achievements is that he competed in the World Boxing Super Series. The fighters in this Super Series are so dangerous, you could list their fists as cold weapons. At this gathering of elite killers, they'd settle once and for all who's the strongest in the world. And the winner even gets the trophy of the great Muhammad Ali. The quarterfinal of the Super Series took place in October 2018. Back then, Inoue was matched against the Dominican, Juan Carlos Payano. When the fight started, Payano's attempts to register Inoue on the canvas only made him laugh. So, the Japanese monster began adjusting his rifles to one-shot his opponent. Therefore, securing himself a ticket to the semifinals with the best possible spot, right inside the ring.
Naoya Inoue has scored.
The Super Series semifinal took place on May 18th, 2019. And for Inoue, this fight was meant to be a real test. He was up against Emmanuel Rodriguez, the undefeated IBF world champion with a perfect 19-0 record. But in this fight, sports interest took a back seat because all the Japanese hitman wanted was to avenge his family's honor. This act of disrespect happened in the gym even before the bout. Rodriguez's coach had the nerve to shove Inoue's father right in front of his eyes, showing blatant disrespect. That was when Inoue promised himself that he'd take brutal revenge on that insolent coach by devastating his protege. And then the day of retribution arrived, filled with a burning desire for vengeance. Inoue loaded his fists with pure hatred for his opponent. When the bell rang, the Puerto Rican immediately charged Inoue with relentless pressure.
Rodriguez started coming forward. Getting things done quickly.
But the enraged monster first unloaded a series of combos on Rodriguez's head, then delivered a crushing punch that tuned his opponent's GPS navigation straight to the canvas.
For this fight, this is a fearsome flurry, and he's done. He's got him on the left for the first time in his career. Corner right above us.
It seemed like the Puerto Rican tried to use his extra life coin, but Inoue wasn't about to drag out the boxing match. He sent Rodriguez packing to the hub, completely breaking his will. In the end, Inoue emerged victorious and claimed the IBF belt, ruthlessly avenging that disrespectful act by giving the coach's protege his very first loss. After advancing to the Super Series final, Inoue faced the fight of his life. No one had ever thumped him so hard in his triumphal career. The fight, which earned Inoue a spot in the World Boxing Super Series, took place in 2018. In it, Inoue was gunning for the WBA World Champion belt and to conquer yet another weight division. His opponent was Jamie McDonnell, a 2-time world champion who had defended the WBA belt 5 times and hadn't been beaten in a decade. Apparently, all his past victories inflated his ego to Olympian levels.
I'm the best bantamweight on this planet.
And he started throwing around the nastiest insults imaginable.
I'm gonna smash him, I know I am.
But once the fight began, it quickly became clear that this trash talker had only trained his tongue. From the first bell, Inoue, like a Japanese tooth fairy armed with bone-crushing punches, began cleaning out McDonald's filthy mouth. Even though the insolent guy tried to hurt the noble warrior from the land of the rising sun, the bout still looked like a one-sided annihilation. Not eager to drag the match out any longer, the young prodigy forced McDonald's internal organs to collectively resign in one fell swoop. In the end, Inoue claimed his third WBA belt, punishing the trash talker and permanently shutting his foul mouth. Even though Inoue remains the undisputed champion to this day, he wasn't always at the top. Back on April 6, 2014, he was just a dark horse in the lightweight division. That day, the Japanese fighter finally got a shot at his first world gold against the Mexican pugilistic genius, Adrian Hernandez, also known as El Professor. For young Inoue, this bout was a mission impossible because Hernandez was a two-time WBC world champion with 4 consecutive belt defenses. But as soon as the fight started, Hernandez, unlike his ancient Mayan ancestors, decided to defend the nation's gold by shredding his opponent into pieces. The audience started mentally burying the challenger even before the fight got underway. To everyone's surprise, after enduring that brutal storm, Inoue blossomed like Sakura and began slicing up the Mexican's face like he was carving a burrito. Somehow, Hernandez survived this ring hell with the demon, even trying to claw back some advantage. But by the end of the 6th round, Inoue threw a knockout punch so vicious it forced Hernandez to kneel before the future king. Thus, Inoue earned his first WBC belt and proved that even the most experienced fighters should never be underestimated. Along his journey, Inoue faced many opponents, but this fight pitted him against a real scumbag. Warlito Paredes, known as War's Cowboy, had fought his very first pro bout when Inoue was only 12 years old. Given the huge difference in experience, Inoue had absolutely no right to underestimate him. Apparently, Paredes didn't see any danger in the young challenger and shamelessly provoked him during the fight. But Inoue wasn't about to put up with such dirty antics. By the 2nd round, he came out like he had his revolvers fully loaded and launched an all-out war in the ring against War's Cowboy. Unwilling to leave the outcome to the judges, Inoue landed a devastating blow straight from purgatory, sending the scumbag into a brief coma. Somehow, Paredes managed to get back up, but Inoue, like a true samurai, finished him off with a public harakiri. In the end, Inoue brutally punished the scoundrel for his antics, making him humble for good. Lastly, we present another gold hunting mission by Inoue, where the 20-year-old Japanese fighter faced a true demon. He went up against Omar Narvaez, a man who defended the world champion belt a total of 29 times, boasting 45 wins with only one loss. Perhaps riding on that record, Narvaez confidently believed this fight would be his anniversary defense of the WBO belt. And he wasn't alone. The audience thought Inoue had signed his death warrant instead of a fight contract. But as soon as the bout started, it was as if Naoya, mistaking the champion for a plate of sashimi, pounced on him without hesitation. He was ruthless, devouring his opponent non-stop. The destruction didn't stop in the first round. Inoue, like a true hitman, kept delivering precise headshots, ending every combo with a knockdown. Even Narvaez's liver, which had weathered over 45 fights, couldn't survive 2 rounds in the cage with this Japanese monster. And after one final sledgehammer blow, Inoue sent Narvaez crashing to the canvas. In the end, Inoue secured his second WBO belt, showing his boxing to the whole world. In this video, we have introduced you to the current king of boxing, Naoya Inoue.
A fearsome flurry, and he's down.
The undisputed world champion who still wows everyone with his unique skills. Subscribe to our channel and hit that like button if you want to see more videos like this. And feel free to suggest candidates for our next videos in the comments.